And how about the work pressure? Yeah, so that's a new normal that work is too high nowadays. Even I am logged in today, maybe logging tomorrow. So now it's 24 by 7 by 365 day kind of environment. But this phase will pass. I think she has joined in. Okay. So Anshu, Shatakshi and Soma saying that until Anshu join, I should not start the class. So we are very good friends, right? But
Yes,
at the
sir.
same point, and at the same point, they were saying that okay, you need to treat them because they are waiting for you. All right, so let's begin. Today I'm going to cover one of the fantastic procedure, which is a proc tabulate. So let me show you a default structure. If you write like proc tabulate, data is equal to the old one, and run. Once you run this, it will show you an error, right? Now, if you go to this error message, it is showing you no table statement has been specified, right? Which means that we need to define some table statements. So table means a proc table. It is a procedure uh, which help you to organize your data in a tabular format with without statistical analysis with statistical analysis, right? So just think that uh, it's a procedure. Once you're done with your all data merging, now once your data is ready, now you are going to present it, right? So then it comes to your health. So now it is asking for table statement. So table, as you know, table consists two things: in the row and column, right? So we need to define the table for tabulate, right? So now once you write table, you need to remember a word P, comma, sorry, comma, R, comma, C. These are the dimension of a table. Let me just explain you one more time. C stands for column, R stands for row. So the column which you want in top or the column in the column place that you will be defining over here. Something you want in row, you will defining over here. So just think about your pivot table. It is as similar as pivot table, and the P stands for page. So PRC, page dimension, row dimension, and column dimension. And first we write this, and then this, right? Because this is how you can uh, create your table. So let me start. Say okay. So a few example I will cover with only these two because third dimension I will show you a little later. Let's say age is my one of the dimension. Okay, let's write it. Submit this. Again, this will throw you an error. Now this will ask you the type of name is unknown. right? So this name is unknown to the procedure because now procedure is confused. You want to classify your age or you want to analyze your age. So when I say classify, which means you want to use that as a categorical variable, or for example, you want to divide your data into male and female, or you want to calculate their age, right? So let me. So there are two statements to classify your data, which is or to make your data known to this class and var. In class, we define all those variables for which we want a category, right? Or this class is that place where you define your variable, which help you to summarize your data for that particular variable. So let me define the age first, right? Uh, and variable here we are defined to do the calculation. Now this has given you something age in the column. Why? Because we have defined only one dimension, which is C, right? Why we got this sum? Because I have defined age into the where statement, right? So by default, analysis of a numeric variable would always be a sum, right? And by default, analysis or summarization of any variable would be count. All right. Now, what would happen if I define this variable over here? Which part, Shubham? Okay, by default. All right. So, in most of the programming language, even in your Excel itself, while you are creating a pivot table, you see one thing. Once you put uh, any variable which is numeric in nature in the fourth uh, window, which is I think values window or some, I forget the name. Let me check that window. Uh, yes, it's the values. So I'm talking about this particular column. If you put any numerical variable over here, this will show you a sum. Otherwise, it will show you count for a text data. Similarly, in our case also, let me fix my screen. It's getting too much discomfort to me. Okay, yeah, it's better now. All right. So by default, analysis of a categorical variable would be count. For example, if I ask you, give me some mathematics around gender. So what you can tell me? Only the count of the gender, right? If I ask you, give me some mathematics around weight. Around weight, your obvious choice would be the sum of the weight. However, you can give any other statistics. Is it clear now, Shubham? Okay. So
Excuse me,
now,
sir.
sorry.
Sir, please repeat this code.
Yeah, I'm coming to code. So this statement, this proc tabulate require a table statement. This we have checked. Now, if you define anything or define any variable over here, it should be either part of the here or part of this statement. तो जो भी वेरिएबल आप टेबल स्टेटमेंट में लिखोगे अंशु, वो या तो क्लास में होना चाहिए या वो वेर में होना चाहिए, तभी आप उसको यहाँ यूज कर पाओगे, क्योंकि टेबल स्टेटमेंट को पता होना चाहिए कि उसको यूज कैसे करना उस वेरिएबल को. राइट. So now we have written this in class. Let's see how we got the answer or the output. So this is what I mean to say. When I have used the age variable as a new in the variable statement, it was giving me one analysis, which is the summarization of this data, the sum. However, when I have used this in the class statement, it is giving me the class frequency, because now it is treating it as a categorical variable. Is this point clear? Okay, so let me move ahead. Now I have defined one variable over here. Now I am introducing another variable which is a categorical in nature, right? And I am using that variable as a column, sorry, at a row place. So this is how you are structuring your table. So your age come in column, your gender come into row because of the definition of table. Any question on this? No question? Okay. Now what would happen if I reverse?
Sir, I have a question. If the variable is taken, I'm sorry, if any variable that we have defined in the table, if it is taken in front of var or class, what's the difference in the output?
Yes. So I will show you a different scenario, Shubham. Right?
Yeah.
I will cover multiple scenarios. So wait for some time. I will explain all most of the cases. Now, if you run this, this is giving an error. So variable gender in list does not match type prescribed for this list. Here, whatever we are defining, we should be able to do the calculation, which is mathematics, or we should be able to analyze that variable. Since we cannot analyze or apply any mathematical formula on this data, so this is not accepting this structure or this variable in the var statement. All right. Now, what would happen if I define both the variable over there? So you will get a frequency table like this. check the code and see the output. So I'm giving you 2 minutes time to practice to write this code at your end. Okay, very good question, Shivam. So this is sorry, n in SAS means count, number of non-missing value, and sum is sum. So this is default analysis which this procedure had done. So I want you to practice at your end. Please let me know once you're done. Done? Yes.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Anshu.
सर आपको विजिबल हो रहा है ये?
नहीं, मैं आपका स्क्रीन नहीं देख पाऊंगा.
ओके सर, जो हमने सम वाला एक किया था ना कोड अभी,
हाँ.
जो एज का सम आ रहा था सर, एक बार वो रिपीट कर दीजिए.
तो सर समझा देखेंगे आपको. Right, first. Second, if you want to see the sum column wise or So now how you want to create the structure of your table? You can manage it by writing your variable name in a column place or at the row place. Right. Now adding one more variable which is weight. So weight is my column variable, age is my row variable, and gender is my page variable, right? Or the page dimension. So now if you look at the output, this is column, these are rows, and this entire thing is coming on one page. So this is a page dimension. This is page dimension. So this is three-dimensional data. Did you get this? And now let me just show you the code. Page, row, column. Because Satakshi, now you are making your age variable as a page variable. So for each instance of your age, for example, for 11 you will get one output, for 12 you will get another output, for 13, 14, 15, 16. For each instance of particular category, you will see the output.
Okay, yes, I got it. So here you did it on age, but I guess I did it on sex. That's why for everything it's showing
Because
different tables.
yeah, so so I made this as a page dimension. So this variable contains only two data points, which is male and female.
And
That's why I got only two tables.
okay, yes, yes, got it. Thank you.
All right. So we are good till here. Let's just read this. Now, if you look at this program or the output of this, there is a blank box. There is something which you do not want to be printed. So I'm showing a couple of new options which you can use. So after a slash, I can write anything which I want to print it over here. All right. Now let's talk about this portion. So you already know about this area, right? This is for column, and by default we get a sum as a default statistic of our variable. Now your objective is different. Now, for example, you want to calculate the average, right? So in that case, what you will be doing, you are multiplying the name of the statistic with your variable. All right. So now you will see male female in the row column, so in the row side, and average of age in the column side, right? So proc tabular is coming in the box because we have defined it over here. Now you don't want this to be printed for, right? Or you don't want to print this, or you want a different name for mean. So we can change that by using equal to symbol. So for example, I am changing this mean to average, right? So give me a second. Oh, that's wrong. So now this will print average in place of mean. All right. Now you don't want this particular variable to be printed over here. So you can cancel, or you can assign a blank value. So the heading is removed. All right. Giving you 2 minutes time to practice this, and do let me know if you have any question. Sorry. Done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you can ask for multiple statistics. So till now we have covered one scenario where we are only asking statistics only for one variable, or we are asking one statistics from one variable. Now I want two different things, right? The mean and the count. So what I need to do, I need to define my statistic in a bracket, right? Now I'm introducing you a new word, this is all. So all is a keyword which will give you a total for that particular statistics. So let me show you the output and you will be able to understand now. So this is because the all. So mean of all is 100.9 and count of all is 19. So now you got the weight, the mean of weight and the count of weight. and this is the age variable which you defined at the rows place. Any question on this? All right, so let me go ahead and show you one more example. Now, I am showing a cross tabulation. Right? Now, this will create another set of hierarchy in your table like this. So it has separated your data by male, female. Now on this male, female, you are using weight variable for calculating mean and the count. And here are the ages. So give you some time to practice this one. This is pretty interesting. Interest an interesting procedure. Done.
Yes, sir, I have done.
What about you, Sadakshi and Shubham?
Uh, yes, I'm done. So one more time, what was the capital N?
Capital N is a count.
Okay, like here it would be count of people of age 12, 13, and so
So
on.
it is a count of people of female who are falling into age group 11. Count of
Okay,
people, their age is 12 and they are either this is for male, this is for female.
got it. Thank you.
Now, so I am doing a cross tabulation on this side, which is on the column side. So this is the output. First, understand? I think now you are able to understand the output pretty well. All right. Something went wrong somewhere. Now I'm going to introduce you one more procedure, which is prox univariate. So I believe you all know the univariate analysis. Yes, no? Univariate analysis. So will you please explain me, Shubham? What is univariate analysis? All right, and what is the objective of this? Anshu, what is the objective of univariate analysis? Satakshi, can you try? What is the objective of univariate analysis? Yes, the first one is yes, summarizing. And what do you mean by giving patterns? Between the variables, so there is only one variable. So what about you, Anshu and Satakshi? What is your understanding? So let me show you output, and then you will get a. Do you remember this graph? Yes. So to see the distribution of your variable, apart from summarization, which is this, which is this. So one procedure is give you each and everything about your variable. And mean, standard deviation, skewness, uncorrected sum of square, coefficient of variation, sum of weight, sum observation, variance, kurtosis, corrected sum of square, standard error mean. Now this is statistical measure like mean, median, mode, standard deviation, variance, range in IQR. So this is the mode display is the smallest of 4 modes with a count of 2. test of location, quantize at what quantile which data point lies, Shubham, to answer your question, yes, distribution could be said as pattern. However, uh, again, there is a thin line between pattern and distribution. So distribution has a, it's a predefined shape, right, which you are looking. But pattern could emerge anything, right? About pattern, you have no idea. So lowest and highest observations and their values, and finally the histogram of univariate analysis of your variable. All right, a wonderful procedure. Let me show another output of this particular procedure. Okay, it is not publishing over here. So without histogram, it is not showing the histogram. All right. So this is your proc univariate. Now you can use few other options like plot normal. Now you will have more distribution or the data or the graph. It is giving a box plot. It is giving a QQ plot or narrow quantile plot. And rest other measures, right? All right. Any question? Now using few more options, right? It doesn't work over here now. So this will put a normal probability curve. By changing option, histogram slash normal. So it is showing a line for normal distribution. So what do you think? It's a normal distribution or not? What about you, Anshu? है normal या नहीं? Yes. Okay. Now I challenge you to prove it. This is a normal distribution. So how you will prove this is a normal distribution? Darshita, very good. So I'm a data guy. I understand data. I don't understand images. So give me some number. I wish I can say with guarantee. Okay, this is a normal probability curve. Symmetry, very good. So if I do not share this image, right, how you will find that your data is normally distributed or not? Okay. Okay. Any other thing? So you guys have gone through this hypothesis test, learned this hypothesis testing? Yes, no? Yeah. So what is hypothesis? So since we are few in number, if you can guys unmute and then speak, I will. We can easily manage. So it's very hard for a class like morning where we have 30 participants. So if you want to explain, just unmute yourself. Let's make it more interactive. So what is hypothesis or hypothesis? अंशु आप आंसर करो इसको हाइपोथेसिस क्या होती है अनम्यूट करके कहाँ सर पढ़ते पढ़ते सर कहाँ हाइपोथेसिस पूछने बैठ गए
Sir, to the hypothesis होती है null and alternative.
अरे उससे पहले वो होती क्या है वो तो बताओ दो तरह की होती है वो तो और होती क्या है वो तो बताओ
I guess it's like a process of any, like understanding any statement if it's true or false.
दैट इज हाइपोथेसिस टेस्टिंग
I think
now
hypothesis is like something that we assume, like
right
assumption.
it's your assumption right so this I am saying this is your assumption that this is a normal distribution so how you will confirm whether it's a normal distribution or not with the help of hypothesis testing right
Yes.
right now now the process starts right so what Anshu was saying कि दो तरह की होती है एक नल होती है एक alternate होती है तो नल हाइपोथेसिस क्या होती है अंशु डेटा साइंस का प्रोग्राम कर रहे हो, ये चीज फिक्स होनी चाहिए. These are your interview questions, right?
सर नल हाइपोथेसिस जो स्टेटमेंट होती है वो अबाउट अ पॉपुलेशन पैरामीटर होती है.
ओके, चलो ये सामने पॉपुलेशन पड़ी है, इसके बारे में नल हाइपोथेसिस बता दो क्या होगी.
So sir, null hypothesis I guess would be whatever we are trying to establish. Initially we will take it as false.
We will treat this as a false.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the alternate would be whatever we want to achieve is correct.
Okay, so what do you want to prove it in this case?
So here we want to
That's
prove that
normally
this data is like, yeah, normally distributed, and null
So
would
our,
be not.
null hypothesis would be that it's not normally distributed.
Normally distributed. So do you have pen and paper with you?
Yes.
If not, then okay, perfect. So please write null hypothesis in plain English that this is not a normal distribution. This is what you are saying, right? और
Yes.
Yes.
अंशु आपकी आवाज नहीं है, आप कुछ और बोलना चाहते हो?
Yes, sir.
मतलब कुछ और बोलना चाहते हो, बताओ.
No, sir.
ओके ओके, आप भी ये बोल रहे हो, राइट? और ऑल्टरनेट फिर क्या लिखोगे आप लोग? Alternate would be
That it is normally distributed.
normally distributed. Very good. Now, how you will establish that it's which hypothesis is true or which is false? With the help of some test, right?
Yes. Yep.
Right.
T-test.
There is a yes. So there is a test by name of Anderson-Darling test, right? To prove this, right? So we have all these three tests which we can use to say whether this is where it is that. Let me see whether the test. Yeah, here it is. Right. So if you look here, this is showing us test for normality. All right. And these are your p-values. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 different tests. However, the most popular one is this Anderson-Darling test. Now this is saying your p-value is 0.25.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
You need not to
Which is
calculate
more
as
than-
every solve.
Yeah, which is more than
So now-
0.05 if we're taking the confidence interval as like 95%.
95% taken by non or 95% taken that confidence interval of
Would
confidence
be
level.
different. Yeah, would be different. The p-value would be different then.
No, this is on 95% confidence level.
Yeah, yeah. Then it's the standard would be 0.05, so we will compare the value on that
Now-
basis. Like if it
Now
is less,
compare this. Now compare it in
yeah. So this is more than 0.05, so we
Which
will, which means we will accept the null hypothesis.
is it the same understanding about this statement for Anshu and Satakshi? Yes, no?
No, sir.
सेम अंडरस्टैंडिंग तो बताओ फिर क्या अंडरस्टैंडिंग है. So Satakshi, what Shom said that if p-value is greater than 0.05, we will accept the null hypothesis. Do you agree with this statement or not? Satakshi, Anshu. So Anshu, what Soham is saying कि जब p वैल्यू 0.05 से ज्यादा होती है तो हम नल को रिजेक्ट नहीं करते। हाँ, तो सताक्षी सोहम ने वही बोला है, इफ p is greater than 0.05 we will not reject null। अंशु, अंशु कैन यू हियर मी?
यस सर, अगर p वैल्यू हमारी 0.05 से लेस है तो हम नल हाइपोथेसिस को तो रिजेक्ट करेंगे ना इसमें।
हाँ, पर यहाँ तो ज्यादा आ रही है ना, 0.25 आ रही है।
यस,
तो क्या बोलोगे आप? रिएक्ट नहीं कर सकते?
so don't reject the null hypothesis।
तो नल को रिएक्ट नहीं कर सकते, तो विच मीन Satakshi, the data is not well distributed. This is what you all are saying, right?
Yes.
यस,
अब आप बताओ, पहले स्टेटमेंट में सही थे या अब सही हो?
अब सही है सर।
ओके, आप पहले सही थे, राइट? नाउ देयर इज अ वेरी फंडामेंटल gap in your understanding of hypothesis. All right, so let me explain the what is hypothesis testing is all about. So hypothesis as an assumption which we as an analyst or as a business owner make, right? Yes or no?
यस,
All right, now to test my assumption I established two hypotheses, one is null, other is alternate. ये भी आपको पता है, but the fundamental mistake which you did just now, you do not know how to write the null hypothesis. Okay, so there is remember three rules. So null hypothesis is a hypothesis of equality. तो हमेशा उसमें क्या होगा, इक्वलिटी का साइन जरूर होगा। ओके, पहला पॉइंट क्लियर है?
यस,
Okay, now second point is null hypothesis is a hypothesis of no impact. What does this mean? जब लीनियर रिग्रेशन लिखते हो ना, बोलते हो कि मेरा x की वजह से y में चेंजेस आएगा, right? This is impact. So null hypothesis is hypothesis of no impact. All right? कि टेम्परेचर कितना भी बढ़ जाए, कोक की सेल पर कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा। दिस इज माय नल हाइपोथेसिस, बिकॉज नल हाइपोथेसिस इज अ हाइपोथेसिस ऑफ नो इम्पैक्ट।
sir, repeat the first one please।
So the first one is null hypothesis is hypothesis of equality. So when you have learned ANOVA, when you're comparing a mean of two groups, then your null would be all groups are equal. When you're writing your hypothesis for t-test, which means your population mean or your sample mean is equal to population mean. So you will always have a symbol of equality in your null hypothesis. It is either equal to, greater than, it is equal to, less than, but equality will always be there in your null hypothesis. All right, and the third thing, null hypothesis is a hypothesis of status quo, which means जो है वो सही है। तो डेटा है तो नॉर्मल है.
Sir, please repeat third point.
So the third one is the null hypothesis is a hypothesis of status quo. यानी जो है जैसा है वो सही है. तो जैसा भी डेटा है नॉर्मल है. Now as an analyst you try to challenge the null hypothesis, not the other way. And which means we try to write opposite of null in our alternate hypothesis. Is this point clear?
Sir, explain the last point one more time, please.
Okay. So that status quo one, right? So that 3 points. One is it should always have a equality symbol, right? It is have a no impact. Whenever you're writing, there is no impact. Third is status quo, कि जो है जैसा है वो सही है. So in our case, मेरा जैसा भी डेटा है वो डेटा नॉर्मल है. And I'm as a data scientist, as data analyst, I want to challenge that by writing opposite of null into alternate. Is this clear? So now tell me, is this a normally distributed or not? अब गलती नहीं होगी कभी हाइपोथेसिस लिखने में, राइट? What about you, Shubham? Perfect. No problem. So let's conclude that we, and why I'm saying I will if I will complete your this Tableau. If I will take your Tableau, then I will show you why you need to write this information from graph from your stats, right? Why you cannot trust only one metric or one thing. All right. So this is our proc unit, a simple procedure contains a lot of information. All right, so let's move on to the next procedure, which is your very familiar COR, stands for correlation. All right, so I have written default syntax. No,
So before you start, I would like to clarify it one more time. So here, as we wanted to prove that it's normally distributed, that would be our null hypothesis. And if
No,
the situation...
Okay, so I do not want to prove anything, right? So okay, so I am considering what is going on is status quo, which means everything is normal. And that is the reason I am writing that there is the population distribution is normally distributed, or the data is normally distributed. So there is a saying जिसको हिंदी में कन्वर्ट करके दो कि जो है जैसा है वो सही है.
I mean, what I'm trying to say is, if the situation is like that, we see, I mean, we are trying to establish that the data is not normally distributed. In that case, that would be our null hypothesis, that it is
No,
not normally distributed.
no, no. You always challenge your null in alternate. So, अच्छा मैं इसको थोड़ा सा और आपको बैकग्राउंड में आकर थोड़ा और समझाता हूँ इसका है। लेट्स से आप एयरटेल के मालिक हो, राइट? मैं हूँ बिजनेस कंसल्टेंट, डेटा साइंटिस्ट, राइट? मेरा इंटरेस्ट क्या होगा ये एस्टेब्लिश करने में कि आप XYZ एडवर्टाइजमेंट बढ़ाओ, राइट? तो आपका रेवेन्यू बढ़ेगा। मित्तल जी का हाइपोथेसिस क्या होगा? नहीं भाई, जो चल रहा है वो सही चल रहा है। तो नल हाइपोथेसिस क्या होगा उस केस में? मैं कितना भी खर्चा कर लूं, मेरे पास जो कनेक्शन या मैं जितने यूजर है वो उतने ही रहेंगे, बढ़ेंगे नहीं। नाउ माय इंटरेस्ट और एज ए प्रोफेशनल मेरा इंटरेस्ट कहाँ होगा? उसको फेल करने में, और विच भी जो ऑल्टरनेट है उसको स्टैब्लिश करने में। फॉर एग्जाम्पल आप इंडियन रेलवे के पास जाते हो, ठीक है, कि देखो जी मैं एक प्रोजेक्ट करता हूं और उस प्रोजेक्ट से आपका रेवेन्यू ग्रोथ हो जाएगा, राइट? तो आप पहले क्या हाइपोथेसिस स्टैब्लिश करोगे कि मेरे प्रोजेक्ट से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, मेरे प्रोजेक्ट करने से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, राइट? ऑल्टरनेट अगर मेरा हाइपोथेसिस प्रूव होता है, देन आई विल से फॉर श्योर दैट बिकॉज ऑफ माय प्रोजेक्ट रेवेन्यू हैज इंक्रीज्ड। तो जो इंटरेस्ट होता है ना हम लोगों का एज ए डेटा साइंटिस्ट, ऐसे ना हम लोगों का इंटरेस्ट होता है ऑल्टरनेट में, और यही रीजन होता है कंफ्यूजन का रीजन कि दुनिया में सारी बातें नल के बारे में की जाती है और बैक ऑफ द माइंड हम प्रूव करना चाहते हैं अल्टरनेट। Okay, so Shubham, you are saying, so whatever we want to establish prove would be our alternate, and no change would be null, or opposite of it would be null. So okay, remember those three ground rules. Null hypothesis is hypothesis of equality. Null hypothesis is hypothesis of no impact. Null hypothesis is a hypothesis of status quo. आपसे कभी गलती नहीं होगी नल लिखने में। तो जो मैं रेलवे वाला एग्जांपल लिया उसमें क्या लगा, प्रोजेक्ट कर लो कोई इम्पैक्ट नहीं होगा रेवेन्यू पे, राइट? अभी उधर जाओ बेटा। ओके, थैंक यू। ऑलराइट,
Yes, got it.
okay, so let's talk about the proc correlation. So simple proc CORR data, and this once you submit this you will get this output. So this is simple statistic, or it's the output of your proc team followed by the output of your correlation, Pearson correlation coefficient. Now again, uh, okay, let me explain this table first. I think you have seen it earlier as well. तो एज का एज के साथ हाइट का क्या रेशियो वो यहाँ आ गया, एंड देन व्हाट इज योर कोरिलेशन ऑफ योर एज इज हियर, राइट? इज ओवर हियर, राइट? राइट? Now tell me what is your null hypothesis in this, while writing a correlation, while creating this correlation matrix. Please write the hypothesis of correlation between these three variable, एज का, हाइट का, हाइट का, वेट का इसके साथ. What about you, अंशु? क्या लिखोगे हाइपोथेसिस का? नल?
Yes, sir. Don't reject the null hypothesis.
क्या? सॉरी मैं मिस कर दिया, आपकी आवाज कट गई थी.
Don't
और यू आर
reject
सेइंग द
the
सेम
null
थिंग व्हिच साक्षी इज
hypothesis.
सेइंग. नहीं, पहले हाइपोथेसिस बनाओ तो सही, रेट तो बाद में करेंगे. तो नल हाइपोथेसिस कैसे लिखोगी इसी केस में? शिवम, how you will write the hypothesis for these two or three different cases? Only null. Okay. There is zero correlation between these. From where this zero comes into the picture? It's very simple. Yes, you guys, you both have understood correctly. Yes, there is no correlation. What is zero? What is zero in this? No, zero is for what? What metric? This is a weight zero, this is a height zero. So it's a... Okay, so let me come to this point. So my null hypothesis would be there is no correlation between your age and height. First hypothesis. My second hypothesis, there is no correlation between your age and weight. My third hypothesis would be there is no correlation between height and weight. All right. और alternate क्या होगी? There. Okay. Can you check the Wi-Fi? Guys, give me a minute. I think we have power cut. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. So this is how we have written the null hypothesis, right? Now we will run some tests, right? There is a correlation between age, height, and weight. So we will got one value which is known as p value. So the value which is written over here are your p values, right? Now ऊपर वाली वैल्यू की बात नहीं, क्योंकि आज तक आपने जितना भी मेथड ये कोरिलेशन कोएफिशिएंट की टेबल्स देखी है उसमें आपने हमेशा ऊपर वाली वैल्यू देखी है, नीचे वाली वैल्यू आपको कभी भी नहीं आई है. ऑलराइट, सो दीज आर द p values. नाउ p वैल्यू क्या है? 0.05 से कम है, तो आप क्या बोलोगे? Reject the
null
null,
hypothesis.
right? So how to remember this? When p is low, null will go. Okay? When p is low, and low means 0.05 से low, null will go. Alright? So we will reject null hypothesis, which means there is a correlation between age and height, age and weight, and weight and height. Yes, no?
Yes.
Alright. Now, so what are these values? जब जीरो भी बोलने की कोशिश कर रहे थे, what are those value? मैंने कुछ ऐसा भी नहीं पूछा, इतना सन्नाटा हो गया ग्रुप में. So that's where the confusion is. p वैल्यू ये है, ये. So जो आप जीरो की बात कर रहे थे शुभम, there is no correlation as zero, that is known as Pearson correlation coefficient, small r. Okay, and the value of this small r lies from -1 to 1. याद आया कुछ? And zero means, what is mean of zero? याद आया? -1 means क्या होता है? परफेक्ट नेगेटिव कोरिलेशन. +1 means क्या होता है? परफेक्ट पॉजिटिव कोरिलेशन, लाइक दिस.
Yes. Yeah.
Now the question is, what is zero then?
Which means there would not be any correlation.
You are partially right. So
Okay.
yes, your understanding is right. So let me just give you one more context to this. So the test which we are doing over here, this is only for linear relationship. All right.
Oh yes, there would not be any linear relationship between the
There would
variables.
not be any linear relationship, and I cannot guarantee you for any other relationship.
Another relationship. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Right. All right. So this is about your proc core. So this is by default give you the correlation between all the numeric variables. But if you want to check for some variable, you can write this. So if you want to see the correlation of age with weight, you can write only that thing. So age with weight. All right. So let's move to the other thing. Now the next procedure is proc SG plot, and this procedure is basically used for your graph. So proc SG plot scatter
So could
means
you
it
please
will,
repeat from the value part there, the one above the p-value? I lost my connection.
oh, give me a second. So the taxis, I'm correct, then you are looking for this value.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the value of Pearson correlation coefficient, which is denoted by small r,
Okay. Yes.
right? And the value of small r lies from -1 to +1. -1 means perfect negative correlation or inverse correlation, which means कि टेम्परेचर बढ़ेगा तो चाय की सेल डाउन होगी, राइट?
Right. Yes.
एंड +1 मीन्स परफेक्ट पॉजिटिव कोरिलेशन, कि टेम्परेचर बढ़ेगा तो कोक की सेल बढ़ेगी या कोल्ड ड्रिंक की सेल बढ़ेगी. ऑलराइट. एंड जीरो मीन्स देयर इज नो लीनियर कोरिलेशन, क्योंकि मैं जो एक टेस्ट करता हूँ वो लीनियर रिलेशनशिप के लिए करता हूँ. इज दैट क्लियर साक्षी नाउ?
Yes.
और यू हैव एनी अदर क्वेश्चन?
No.
Okay. So let's plot some graphs. So this proc SG plot, you know the scatter plot, right? This will show you scatter diagram. So the syntax is pretty simple. Proc SG plot, data is equal to data set name. The scatter, your x and y. And if you want to use this ellipse function, this will plot 95 prediction ellipse, that your data will lie 95% between this range. Now, from SG plot for your H box or horizontal box plot. So you guys understand this box plot pretty well. All right. So what is box plot, Anshu? Anshu, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Box plot क्या होता है?
सर ये हमें वो बताता है,
हाँ,
जैसे मिनिमम फर्स्ट क्वार्टाइल, जैसे जो सेंटर वाला लाइन वो मीडियन बताती है हमें.
Like, so this is your, what is it?
This is
Okay, मैं
maximum.
वर्टिकल बना देता हूँ. आप पहली बार ऐसा देख रहे हो, मैं वर्टिकल बना देता हूँ. Give me a second. अभी हुआ. ठीक है, ये वाला देखने की आदत है, राइट?
yes.
आर पाइथन में इवन कर रहा है ना. हाँ, चलो ये वाला देखते हैं. अब समझाइए मेरे को.
Sir, top line is minimum.
This is minimum. This is
That was maximum.
no. So this was top.
This
Okay,
was
this is
minimum.
maximum.
Yes.
So sorry. Actually क्या मेरा और आपका कर्सर थोड़ा लेट मूव हो रहा होगा तो आपको देर में देखा होगा. अभी जहाँ पे कर्सर है वो मैक्सिमम है, राइट?
Yes.
एंड अभी जहाँ कर्सर है वो, एक सेकेंड आने दो कर्सर के नीचे. हाँ, ये
सर
मिनिमम है,
जो
राइट?
ये मैक्सिमम है और जो ऊपर वाला है वो मिनिमम है।
ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है? नीचे तो मिनिमम होगा ना, 80 से बड़ा 120 तो ऊपर है।
यस 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 यस। एंड जो मिडल लाइन है दैट वाज मीडियन।
Okay. And what about these two lines?
क्वार्टाइल एंड परसेंटाइल।
क्या?
क्वार्टाइल एंड परसेंटाइल।
What about you, Shubham?
This line, the one that you just asked, these are the minimum and the maximum, and these
Okay.
and the first one that you asked, these are our outliers, and the middle one is the median. This is the
And what
outlier
about
below the minimum point. Yeah,
no,
this line is
what
the
is this?
minimum. This is a
What is
minimum.
this? And this is outlier.
This is outlier. Yes.
Okay. And what about you,
Below the
Satakshi?
minimum.
I think
And so can you put your,
these are
yes,
I
Satakshi.
think the very bottom and the very top are the maximum and minimum.
Okay.
The line that is there. I'm not sure
Okay.
about this one. The
So
box, like
okay.
the bottom and the top of the box.
And these are very fundamental things, right? So which I am covering today with the help of this uh, programming. All right. So let me clarify what is box plot. So box plot just gives you the distribution of your data, and this box contains of middle 50% of your population. This point is clear?
Yes, sir. And upper one is 25% quartile and upper one is 75% quartile.
Yes. Now you are right. And this 20, the difference between Q3 minus Q1 is known as IQR. नाम सुना था? Interquartile range.
Quartile range. Yes, yes.
Right. So for your information, box plot is also known as box and whisker plot. Right, Shubham? So these are not the outlier, these are the
Yes.
whisker, right, of your box. So from this point to this whisker, 25% of the population will lie. Here to here,
Isn't
next
these
50%.
whiskers are called like outliers because I feel these the lines of the box, the bottom line is the minimum value and the upper line of the box is the maximum, and
So
these are
first
like
thing,
these are deviated points from
there is
the,
these are
and that's why we draw the
okay.
whiskers from the minimum value to the outliers that we have. I mean, that's what I know. I'm not sure.
Okay, so let's change your understanding from today onward. I will change that understanding. Okay, bear with me. So again, as this is a box and whisker plot, right? These whisker are not the minimum value. The first thing, right? Neither they are outlier. Okay. Now, what are these whiskers then? These are the boundaries from where we will start looking for outlier. So when I say something is outlier, how do I get to know? Any data points beyond this would be an outlier like this. This is your outlier. Any point above this point is an outlier. All right. So which means if this is an outlier, this means this is a part of your data. So this is the minimum value, right or wrong? Are you able to follow me?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes. This is your minimum value. So this can't be your minimum value, right? So if you have an outlier over here, so this can't be your minimum value. Now, from where these values come? From where this viscous come? So do you know when we call a value an outlier? Do you know how to identify our outlier? And this is one of the most important thing which you should, as a data analyst, have very clear concept about outlier. So when we call a value is an outlier, an
A
example,
When
value
it's
would
like,
be an outlier if it falls beyond the range, whatever is specified.
or it's just
beyond
far
the
away from the main data set.
how far? 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers,
Any distance.
any distance. All right, so let me give you my favorite example, which I generally quote. So let's say, so we have a very small batch this time. Uh, if ask you the salary of the entire batch, let's say we have a 20. Just assume that there are 20 students in the class, right? So let's say the average salary come out to be 50,000 rupees. So there are few students who will be the on the lower side of that 50,000 and the upper side of that 50,000, right? So since I do not, let me try to draw something for you. I think this is drawing fine. So let's say this is my boundary. Now here are a few data points. You can see my drawing, right? The ugly drawing, which I'm just trying to make you. Can you see this drawing? No, let me open up some white sheet over here. Let's say this is my center line and this is my 50K. This is my average salary. So there are a few students who will lie over here. Okay, there is a few students who will lie here, right? Now, assume that your data is normally distributed, so you won't have any outlier. Uh, Sorry for my poor drawing. This is the best I can do with this marker. All right. So now assume, why should I assume? Now think, Mr. Mukesh Ambani decided to learn data science from me. All right. And here is his salary. Now, do you think this data point is an outlier? This salary is an outlier? Pretty easy because हम सबको पता है मुकेश अंबानी जी की इनकम क्या है, राइट? और इससे होगा क्या? What will be the outcome of this? जो आपकी क्लास की सैलरी है ना, वो कुछ ऐसी हो जाएगी.
Yes, it affects the mean. Mean gets affected by the outlier.
क्या हो जाएगा? ख्वाबों में हम सारे लोग करोड़पति बन चुके होंगे. So this is the impact of an outlier. So this is a very serious problem in data, right? This is a very serious problem. Now I should know how to identify an outlier first. So in this case, it's a pretty easy, right? But what about a 1 million row of data, and it cannot identify whether he's a money or something like that. So making a long concept is small. So first, so there are three methods, right, of identification of outlier. Two are statistical method, one is practiced by the practitioner. So first one is any value beyond plus 3 sigma on this side minus on this side is an outlier. Is that clear? And what is sigma over here? Is the standard deviation, right? Now, so any value which is beyond 3 sigma on this side, beyond this 3 sigma on this side is an outlier. Now, what about the box and whisker plot? Okay, let me clear the drawing. So, any value beyond whisker is an outlier. Now, how to calculate whisker? So, the formula for whisker calculation is any value which is Q3 means quartile 3, right? Plus 1.5 I Q R is an outlier. Any value which is greater than this is an outlier. So any value below this Q1 minus 1.5 I Q R is an outlier. So now I don't require to understand whether is a Ambani sitting in the class or who is sitting in the class. I will put the value in this formula and then I will get to know who is an outlier. And this is how these whiskers have been calculated. These are these boundaries. So this value is an outlier because it is lesser than 1.5 IQR from quartile 1. So second one is clear. Any question on this? Yes, no?
No, sir.
Sorry, Anshu? Yes or no?
No, sir. No,
No.
sir.
How did you
Okay.
get 1.5? Is it like is it because it's 3 quartiles, so 1.5, 1.5?
3 quartile. No, not from that. It's a statistically established value,
Okay, all right.
right? So this is after someone has done a research and it's proved that okay, this is this formula, this come out of the research, right? So statistics is not mathematics. Just remember one thing. So we got these formulas, these techniques out of a research project. Someone might have done the research, then they come out with this thing. Right. So अंशु, किसी वैल्यू को आउटलायर प्रूव करने के लिए मेरे को दो चीजों को पता होना चाहिए. एक तो मेरा क्वार्टाइल 1 क्या है और क्वार्टाइल 3 क्या है. इन दोनों का डिफरेंस क्या होता है? IQR होता है. तो मेरे पास Q3 है और IQR दो वैल्यू हैं. अब आउटलायर आइडेंटिफाई करने का पहला तरीका है कि किसी भी वैल्यू को अपर साइड में आउटलायर कैसे पहचानूंगा, उसकी वैल्यू अगर Q3 यानी जो यहाँ पे कोई वैल्यू है, क्वार्टाइल 3 की वैल्यू मान लो 50 है, राइट, और आपकी IQR की वैल्यू है मान लो 10, तो 1.5 into 10, right, so it will come out to be 65. अब आपके डेटा में किसी का वेट 65 से ऊपर है तो वो क्या होगा, आउटलायर होगा। और ये सारी वैल्यूज डेटा से खुद से ही क्रिएटेड वैल्यू है, कोई कहीं से डिराइव्ड वैल्यू नहीं है। अंशु समझ में आया?
यस सर।
ठीक है ना। तो आउटलायर में अब किसी के नाम अंबानी होने से मैं उसको आउटलायर नहीं बोलूंगा। कब बोलूंगा, जब वो Q3 प्लस 1.5 IQR से बड़ा होगा। All right, so few more graphs. You might have seen this matrix, right? This shows you the distribution of your individual variable, right? Plus this is the correlation thing in a graphical format. You must have drawn this. Wait a minute. This is scatter plot, right? Between your age and height, age and weight, height and age. We want to plot a matrix of all numeric variable, and diagonal will be kernel with histogram or histogram with kernel. Now, few more graphs like this, where I'm using 2 axis, which is y2 axis. Excel के अंदर आप शायद किया होगा आप लोगों ने. If not, then you can see. So I have one matrix on y1 axis, second matrix on y2 axis, and the third thing matrix on x-axis. So if you look this wonderful graph, I am showing you the comparison of consumption of coal and natural gas over the years by putting them into two different axes. So the program. So okay, let me explain the program first. So this is your SAS help.electric data, where I'm just plotting a data for residential customers. So it contains some commercial customer as well, right? X-axis, I'm writing a discrete, and series on x-axis is equal to year, and y on y it is coal. Again, x it is year, and y is natural gas. However, on which y? Y2 axis. So this is your y2 axis thing, this is your y axis thing, which you can refer from here. So this is all your SG plot, a histogram, easy one. right? So proc SG plot, histogram is equal to height, density is of height. So there are few plots, right? I will share this with you, so which you can try these two. If you feel that you are unable to understand anything, then I will explain it tomorrow. Yeah. Now let's come to the another procedure. After correlation, we always talk about the regression, right? So I'm using the same data. Now I'm saying that my model is weight is equal to age and height. So this is my dependent variable and these are my independent variable. So I am writing my model over here. And at the same point of time, I want a plot of this model. So I'm writing weight into age, height. It will take a little time. So here is the output of your regression proc rec procedure. It contains all lot of statistics, right? Your ANOVA table, your parameter estimates, right? And the diagnostic graphs. For example, this is a graph of your residuals to check whether your errors are normally distributed, right? This is distance graph. This is your predicted value versus actual value graph. This is residual versus predicted value. All other graph, right? And this is your okay Cook's D. This is a part of this linear regression. So you haven't you done this? Been treated any of your data with the cookies in any of your case history? Or so I will let me explain this in a simplest manner. So cookie are those. Uh, so cookie distance tells me beyond this point, right? Or what all variables are, creating chaos in my model. Or sorry, not the variable. What all row number are creating chaos in my model. So this gives you the number of those variables uh, which are contributing more on the error side, so that you can go ahead and remove those rows numbers. Right. So these are residuals by regression for weight, independent variable, and finally you have your this equation, which is sorry, this would be here. Okay, weight is equal to minus 141.22 plus 1.278 into h plus 3.597 into height, right? And this is weight and height graph. and there will be another graph, weight and age. Yeah, over here. So this is the output of a clock reg procedure. All right. So with this, I'm just wrapping up the session over here only because I think Satakshi is already left the session because of, I think, the internet connectivity issue. This is a pattern which I have observed for her. All right. So I think you have enjoyed the session, and do let me know if you have any question, follow-up question. Right. And see you tomorrow. Stay safe. Let me share this. It is DSU 44, I believe. Yes, 44.